this time it was very humiliating since I was forced and I lost a lot of blood, and it was very humiliating. It is not good to do that, since that makes somebody feel isolated. I felt isolated with others since my friends were not circumcised, and I was forced still. So my friends used to laugh at me. But what I would like to say, it's very humiliating, and tell others, don't do it. There is another good way. There is another legal way of doing it. Alternative rite of passage.
YWCA Kenya is fighting female genital mutilation as one of its core mandates to fight women violence in Kenya. Our mission is to make sure that girls live fulfilled lives, and since its inception in 1912, YWCA Kenya, its mandate has been to create safe space to address the issues of women violence in Kenya. And that's why we went into fighting female genital mutilation, because culturally it's a bad practice and it is harming young women and girls in Kenya. Because according to the survey, 1 out of 3 women undergo female genital mutilation, which is a very, 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 very traumatic experience for the young women in Kenya.
Female genital mutilation is a traditional practice that it's basically circumcision for girls, and it involves procedures carried out on the female genitalia. Either it can be in the form of cutting, or making modifications that were not there originally. And there are 4 types of female genital mutilation. The first type is clitoridectomy. It involves the partial or total removal of the clitoris. We have type 2, which involves the removal of the clitoris, either totally or partially, as well as the labia minora, the smaller lips, and it could also involve the removal of the labia majora, the larger lips of the vagina. Then we have type 3, which is infibulation. This is narrowing down the opening, the vaginal opening, either through repositioning the labia minora or the labia majora, or both. We also have type 4, which involves all other procedures that could be carried out on the female genitalia that are not medical. That is, it could involve pricking, piercing, pounding, and the likes. Basically, that is what FGM is.
Female genital mutilation has got no health advantage. To the body of a human, female genital mutilation actually degrades the standards, prestige, everything about the human. It also puts the life of a human in great danger by the ones that are doing it. Considering the circumstances under which this procedure is done, and the environment, and the people who do it, one thing, they don't have the expertise about the anatomy of the body of a human. So for them, it's just doing a procedure so blindly, routinely, because they met somebody doing it, they observed, they don't know even about the anatomy of that human. Considering even the age at risk, these are very young girls that their genital organ it's a bit delicate. So there are so many complications that really follow these girls whenever FGM is done on them. A few examples is like infection. There are so many cases of infection, bleeding, and many of them died because of bleeding. There is the issue of infertility because of that general tampering with the sexual organ. There is the issue of difficulty during childbirth. In hospitals, every woman that has come who has FGM scar, we didn't get a lot of trouble to assist them to deliver the normal way. And many of them end up in theater. Cesarean section is done on them because they cannot deliver the normal way. So this is something that is actually degraded. It's a complication that has been brought on a woman which was not there. It is not a genuine complication that they have to carry this kind of burden. There are other issues, social, spiritual, and cultural issues that now this, at a certain time, it used to fit, but now it cannot fit in the society because it is overtaken by them. Unfortunately, many women, many girls are being forced to do it without their consent.
Female genital mutilation prevalence in Kenya is just about below 22%. I think 21.7%. And how YWCA Kenya work to prevent girls from the cut is that we have different programs like alternative rite of passage for girls. We have sensitization forums for women, men, opinion leaders, for girls also, for boys, for the youths, and so on. And also, we have saving investment groups, which are programs that we empower women economically.
I learned that it is not really necessary for one to go through female genital mutilation. Instead, you can go through the alternative rite of passage, where one is taught some basic skills that one needs in life. And female genital mutilation is not legal, and it is not a good practice since it violates the human rights of the girl child. It has affected my life in that I've known some basic skills, like it has boosted my self-esteem and self-awareness, which has really helped me in life.
Female genital mutilation was traditionally practiced in Meru, and it was an important rite of passage. And some of the Meru communities still practice it, but the rate of practice is coming down. And the reason why female genital mutilation was practiced is because it was considered for an important step for a girl who is moving from childhood to adulthood. And a girl who had been circumcised could now be married off. They could now be considered as an adult. They are considered more responsible and respectful, more than a girl who has not undergone circumcision. And also, female genital mutilation was considered important in reducing the rate of promiscuity, because it reduces the sex drive of the girl, because it involves the removal of the clitoris, and the clitoris is important, in sex. And the type of female genital mutilation practiced in Meru is clitoridectomy, which involves the full or partial removal of the clitoris. And again, it depends on which culture the girl comes from. Some of the cultures will do full removal and others will do partial.
Okay, me, I was circumcised in 1969, December. And during my time, that practice was very common because every lady was to be circumcised. So we had nothing to say no to the circumcision. And then the funny thing, we were, after circumcision, that they were even trying to know who is fearing and who is not fearing the game or the practice. So one had to try hand to at least to show that courage. So after the practice, we were taken to our homes on a road like this one. The women were very happy singing. No man could come around. And after going, we went into the house where someone wanted to stay for 4 weeks. And after healing, we were to go out. About marriage, I was still in school. I was in standard 3 by then, so I did not marry that very time. I had to go up to my Form 4 education. Then that is when I was married. And to me, what I can say, mostly on this area. As I have been coordinating the FGM seminars, and it is reducing. And to me, I say it is not mine is to conclude that and say that it is not a good practice to girls at all. So still my request is to you continue trying to help these girls, because there are so many girls who are growing, and the practice is done silently or secretly. But I hope with the time it is going to end after some time.
About the act which is against the FGM, since it started, it has helped a lot, especially we administrators, because at first we were going about telling people not to do the act, but we had no law which we could link to them or which we could show them. But now with the act of 2011, now it is very easy. If I can get somebody in my area practicing the FGM, or even his house or a house being used for the practice, it is very easy to prosecute that person. And with the coming of this act, it has even changed the attitude of the people. They now know it is very illegal to do the act. So let me take this opportunity to thank even the people who initiated this act, because it has brought a lot of change in our area.